Hello, we've had a couple of weeks off from the whole Feat thing as I caught up with reviews and did some builds and whatnot for the new stuff. I thought it would be good to get back to the world of third-party feats. I thought we'd get back to it with one of the classes which is theoretically my favourite, but I very rarely enjoy playing for some reason. I don't know why. Really don't. The whole shapeshifting and spellcasting thing should resonate with me, but the reality is often I find that you play or just like a spellcaster. It's very hard to weave the two. Anyway, that's not my point. My point is Druids. I'm going to go over a mix of origin feats and general feats that you should consider for your Druids if you're allowed to use third-party stuff. Kicking off, as ever, is Altered. Every flipping thing I do, this is a good choice for. What is interesting with Altered, normally I just talk about the natural armor aspect because you can have 13 plus your constitution modifier as your armor. What's interesting about all of the feats, or a lot of the feats I'm going to be talking about in this one, is that you get to keep your feats when you wild shape, which gives some interesting changes based on what you choose as your background feats, basically. So you could have fly with an AC of 13 plus your con modifier. You could, if you wanted to. Or you could have a lion with a swim speed equal to its normal speed because of the aquatic adaptation. You could make sure every creature you have has at least a 1d8 damage type because of natural weapons. Or you could even give every creature you have dark vision. And I think that offers a lot more flexibility, actually. And if you are building for wild shape, I think it's worth considering which feat you're taking because of that. So yeah, Altered, still good, shockingly. Who knew? I knew, you knew, we all knew. Next up is Aquatic Adaptation, in very much the same way that Altered is good. This one also gives you a swim speed equal to your normal speed and also removes amphibiousness, or limited amphibiousness specifically from your dependence on water. The last one, sorry, was from the Crooked Moon. This one is from Exploring Eberron. This also gives you proficiency in the athletic skill, which is nice to have. Bloodhound is a good one if a little on the nose. This is from the Grim Hollow Player's Guide. It lets you become aware of any creature that moves within 10 feet of you, as long as it's small or larger, whether it's invisible or anything else, and I think that's absolutely incredible. It doesn't let you know exactly where they are, but it lets you become aware of their presence, which is cool. I would certainly reward that as a DM. It also gives you advantage on wisdom checks that rely on sound or smell, so you can be a proper scout with this one, and I think that's super fun. In a similar way, there's got Hunter of Hunters here. This is from the Crooked Moon as well. This lets you, as a bonus action, scrutinize a creature to ignore any resistances it has, if any, and you get advantage on any ability checks to recall information about a creature as well, which again fits that. I guess it's almost the ranger archetype within the druid archetype, right? But it fits nicely. On to the general feats now. Forest Sage is without a doubt my favorite of these. I know it's first, it's just because I do it alphabetically, but it is my favorite one. This is only takeable by druids or wizards. It increases your intelligence or your wisdom by 1, which is always good. It allows you to use either your intelligence or your wisdom for your animal handling, arcana, nature, or survival checks. But most importantly, it lets you learn 2 spells from either the druid or wizard spell list. These count as wizard spells if you're a wizard or druid spells if you're a druid. This is amazing as a druid because you can take things like Fireball or Chromatic Orb or Bigby's Hand. It does depend what level you take it at, because the way that it's worded means that you can't change these spells. I would certainly consider allowing that to not be the case. I would definitely let my players probably change these, maybe every time they hit an ASI, for example. But it's tricky, right? Or every time they reach a new level of spell. Otherwise, if you take this at level 4, you're really hamstringing yourself. At level 8, it's pretty good. At level 12, it's even better, right? It's tricky to balance that, I think, from a player perspective. But whether you do or don't get to change it, it is a fantastic feat. And if you don't get to change it, I actually think it's more interesting almost, because it then makes for a fantastic feat in the late game specifically, which isn't something that's often the case. Next is Iron Gut. This one lets you boost your strength. Constitution, or charisma. I forgot to say. Forest Sage is from also a very good book. I really hope we get some more stuff from them. Anyway, Iron Gut is from the Grim Hollow Player's Guide. It lets you increase your strength, constitution, or charisma by 1 to avoid or end the poison condition. It gives you advantage on your survival checks to check for food. But the reason this is on here is because as a bonus action, it lets you expend 1 hit point dice, and then you can roll the dice and add your con mod and regain that health. You can only do this once per short or long rest, but Bonus actions, specifically in wild shapes, are quite rare, and having one that lets you heal, if you're not a moon druid, for example, can be quite handy. Next is a Warforged specific one. This is Juggernaut Plating, also from Exploring Eberron. This lets you boost your strength or your con mod, and it means armor can't be taken off of you, which is fine, but not particularly relevant to druids. The reason this is relevant is because it turns any critical hit against you into a normal hit. Because this works while you're wild shape too, this gives you a substantial amount more resilience as a wild shape creature, which is incredibly cool. Next is Lightning Caster. This is one I'm going to talk about probably for every spellcaster going. It lets you improve your intelligence, wisdom, or charisma by 1. It lets you, if you are casting a cantrip that has a single target and requires an action to cast, it lets you also cast it again as a bonus action on a different creature. This is fantastic. A lot of classes struggle with the bonus actions, not really druids, it has to be said. Wizards really like this one. I think sorcerers and druids do a little bit better, and warlocks are technically spellcasters. Clerics also exist, but Healing Word is a bonus action, so you're covered. Also, if you cast a spell as a reaction, you can not use a spell slot for it once per long rest, which can be very, very handy as well. Finally, we have Sangromantic Initiate, which is really hard to say. I keep wanting to say Sangromancy, but here we are. This lets you learn a Sangromancy spell from the Grim Hollow book, because this is a Grim Hollow one. Well, technically, it's any Sangromancy spell, and I think there are Sangromancy spells within Crooked Moon as well, which is fun. It lets you always have it prepared, and lets you cast it without a spell slot once as well, which is super cool. And you can also obviously use your own spell slots as well. It also gives you 2d12s you can use for your Sangromancy spells. I rule this as also giving you a boost to one of your spellcasting stats, but that's not what it does, rules as written, so keep that in mind. The reason this is on the list despite that is because the Crimson Lash spell exists, and if you cast it with a 5th level slot or higher, you can attack with it 3 times. Having access to 3 attacks as a druid, no matter what subclass you're playing, is quite powerful, to say the least. It also reduces the maximum health total of anything you hit with it, and it does a d12 of damage plus whatever other modifiers you have. So it's a very, very good spell, and taking this at some point so that you can cast it and have fun with it is never a bad idea. But that is it. Nice doing a slightly shorter video. I've been doing a lot of long ones recently. I hope you enjoyed this. I enjoyed doing this. I like these ones. These are nice, and they're a little more chill than having to do maths or, read for an hour. I'm a tired man, so being able to do this is super cool. I hope you enjoyed it, and that you enjoy your druids as well. Let me know what you think about druids, or if there's a class that fits that kind of vibe for you. If there's one that you think you should like, but you just don't enjoy playing for whatever reason. It might just be that I haven't found the right druid for me. That is quite possible. I've tried Moon Druid, and it's incredibly powerful, but you just sort of shapeshift into things and hit things. I think I'd actually have more fun with either the Metallic Moon Druid variant from Exploring Eberron, or the Experiment Druid from Grim Hollow. I think they'd be more interesting, because they give you stuff to do with your spell slots. But that's it, really, for today. Do take care of yourself, look after yourself, get some naps in, do some push-ups, do some squats, get some gains, all that good stuff. I will see you whenever I next see you. Bye!